Victor Gyokeres on Instagram, people said, the longer the wait, the better the taste. Now, I mean, I think he speaks for everyone when we say we waited a long time for his signature, but we're all the while even more happier. We finally got a talismanic number 9 or number 14 if you go on the shirt he's wearing on the back or the shirt number. So it's amazing. And I think that's quite on brand in that I do like the caption, but it's on brand in that we've had to wait a while for almost all of our summer transfers, or the key ones, really. And that doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon, people. If I skip ahead and I share the Athletics think piece, they've done a good, interesting piece where actually they spoke about Miguel Gutierrez, who is at Girona, who Real Madrid do hold 50% of his future transfer fee. He is a left back. He is a left back that was linked with us. You know, whether it's the Calafiori injury stuff, Miles Lewis Skelly looking at playing 30, 38 Premier League games, potentially 50, 60 games if we go all the way in all comps. And then obviously what's going on with Zinchenko. Maybe we need another left back. It also spoke about Liverpool's ability to afford Isaac and actually just make movements at this moment in time while they're linked with Isaac, before actually committing that fee or whatever it be, 100, 120, 130, 40, 50, everything else is peddled out. But that being said, it has spoken about Arsenal Football Club. So should we see exactly what is being said concerning the club that we all know and love? Please smash the like button, subscribe, and get the creative juices flowing. Arsenal finally landed Victor Gyokeres for 63.5 million euros fixed fee, with a further 10 million euros possible and potential add-ons, signing a 5-year contract. The 27-year-old Sweden international is now flying out to join the Arsenal squad for the second leg of their preseason tour in Hong Kong. We can skip past that because it's done already, people. Obviously, what remains to be seen is whether it's because of outgoings, whether it's because of the financial commitment already. Maybe we take Mikel Arteta's words for gospel. And I know managers are liars, and what they say publicly is very different privately. But he said a lot of interesting things where he said, like, all the work is done. We've got everything we've needed to do. So whether he's going to be our last signing, I don't know. Do you think Gyokeres is enough on top of Madueke, Zubamendi, Mosquera, Norgard, and, you know, to be fair, who else? Kepa as well, I guess. And anyone else I've missed out. That remains to be seen. Gyokeres is Arsenal's 6th summer signing of the summer transfer window. They've already done a considerable amount of business. Arsenal delighted with the acquisitions they have made and how early they've been able to complete the task. I mean, they have been done early, but quote unquote, have they? Because they did drag out. And I think some people have got some before. I just think it's on brand, really. And it's just, you know, competency. Naturally, there will be a focus on sales now, as we all know. Arsenal want to recoup some revenue to help balance the books and grant them continued flexibility in the future windows. For me, with Eze, yeah, and I'll skip, I'm sure they've spoken about it. I think it comes down to two things. I think you either just put the money down and just make it make sense, whether you're going to activate his release clause or terms that are too enticing for Crystal Palace to turn down, or you get a move on with sales if that's what you want to do to justify this signing. Now, obviously, for us fans, before we talk about finances and all that kind of jazz, we all want Eze. We all believe there's a scope to get Eze. I personally believe PSR and all that stuff, if they wanted to spend even Eze's release clause, they could. But clearly at our club, we have got a mandate. We have placed that to sell people, balance books, etc. And we'll probably only move for him when these things fall into place, if they fall into place, because 1 minute Zinchenko's gone, then he's not. Martinelli the same. Trossard the same. Radio silence really where Lokonga's concerned. Realistically, based on reports, if anyone was to depart Arsenal in the upcoming days, probably Reece Nelson. But even that, because Fulham want him on loan, does it make sense if it's not an obligation to buy, or if it's not a permanent sell? I don't know. Bert has done well, but he's got a lot to do, and there's several spinning plates, people. They remain attentive to any opportunities, however, and business will not close until the window is over. We are constantly looking in the market, said Arteta this week in Singapore. Arsenal retain an interest in Crystal Palace's Eze. The England international has many admirers at Arsenal and would be keen to move to North London. In theory, it looks like a straightforward deal. Eze has a release clause in his contract worth in excess of 60 million. Arsenal have, however, had reservations about paying the full clause for a player who turned 27 last month. Now, again, we're in win now mode. We need players that can impact and do the job right now. But if we remove our personal opinions and we understand how our club operate to a degree, one in, one out, a big emphasis on financial prudence, and you look at some of the players we bought and some of the contracts that we're paying out, we can't exactly say that. And again, I don't really necessarily care about this, but resale value, all of these kind of things plays a part. Where if you look beyond, excluding Madueke, who's 23, Mosquera, who is in his early 20s, everybody's kind of here right now that's been brought in. Zubamendi's 26. Now, that isn't 96. He's got a number of years, but Zubamendi's 26. Gyokeres is 27. Fair enough, they're squad players, but Norgard's 31. Obviously, Kepa's come in. So they do have to justify that. And obviously, people that are on the books already. And you look at someone like Mikel Merino, who is on the older side, joining last summer, it starts to paint a picture. And then obviously the bunch of players, as I said, that are here already. So it's not sounding necessarily too optimistic so far on the Eze front. If Crystal Palace were to drop the price in the remaining weeks of the window, Arsenal would be keen to proceed. So prices need to drop, sales potentially need to be done. Feels like there's a lot of dominoes that need to immediately fall into place. You sprinkle in the fact of, we heard that with Wanyeri signing a new deal, it's made us less urgent to get an Eze deal done, people. So we'll have to see. Naturally, sales would also give any benefit to the pursuit of Eze at a considerable boost. A new contract for Wanyeri reduces the urgency of Arsenal's Eze pursuit, but does not appear to have ended it entirely. Arsenal and Fulham are in talks over a deal for Reece Nelson. Discussions between the clubs centre on either a loan deal with an option to buy, which would include a significant fee, or a permanent transfer. Fulham were interested in another move, basically since the season was done. There are several other players on the fringes of the first team who could be allowed to leave. Obviously, we know at this point Zinchenko, Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, and Karl Hein. If Arsenal can bring in a wide attacker, they may be willing to listen to offers for either Martinelli or Trossard. Which one would you let go? I think Trossard's the more likely to go. He's on less wage. He's got less years on his contract. And him at 30, 31, he might be more open to a move away or a new experience. In Trossard's case, Arsenal have been in talks over a contract renegotiation. This would have seen the Belgian pick up an improved salary without extending his deal beyond its current expiry date of 2027. So I stand corrected. You've got 18 months on his deal, essentially. A new deal, improved salary without extending the contract. Does that make sense on the face of it? Surely it makes sense to at least put a 1-year option because you never know what happens. But at the same time, that just tells me that, you know what, Trossard, we feel like the first deal we gave you, we underpaid you and you've got importance in the side and we want to reward what we think of you people. At the moment, that contract remains unsigned as Trossard and his new reps wait to see what opportunities the market brings. So Trossard might be getting itchy feet. Is he open to going to, he's been linked with Crystal Palace, been linked with Fenerbahce, been linked with Saudi, staying at Arsenal? Is he kind of open to everything? The difficulty comes if the interest arrives too late. In September 2024, Arsenal fielded a late inquiry for Trossard from the Saudi Pro League club El Ittihad, forgive me for mispronunciation, but the offer came too late for Arsenal to source a replacement, so it was rejected. I don't want to speak about Chelsea, even though that Mike Panda's keeper is quite decent. They're linked with Morgan Rogers, who we'd all love at the football club. I just want to, Gerald Hattle's obviously going to Chelsea. Liverpool, it's all great. It's all great and gravy for them, if I'm honest with you. If I'm completely honest. And this Real Ngoma guy is quite good. Chelsea's lost. I want to scroll all the way down and see if there's anything on the Rodrigo pursuit or his future at Real Madrid, people, if I'm honest with you. Nice to see Ollie Watkins potentially getting moved. Have you not seen as well? Aaron Ramsdale could be going to Newcastle. We'd all love is that to come play left wing as well as having Gyokeres in it. I'm trying to scroll all the way. Crazy. Certain man activated his release clause and still couldn't pitch him to their club. It's crazy. Shout out Rashford. Real Madrid. Mostantano's joining them. Vinicius Jr.'s having some contract stuff. They've been linked with Rodri. I don't know if they're going to have that. Here we go. Are Real Madrid keen to sell Rodrigo? Yes, as revealed by The Athletic in early July, and he's been linked with Spurs. Both the board and Xabi Alonso will not stand in his way if a fair offer comes in for Rodrigo. So I don't think we're getting Eze and Rodrigo, but do you have any hope that we'll pitch our names into both? Do you have any hope that maybe with sales we could go for both? Arsenal held talks with the players' entourage, but wanted to strengthen in other areas. So does that tell you Rodrigo's not priority? Especially at centre forward. Martinelli or Trossard would most likely have to leave for there to be any chance of a deal. PSG have denied that they have any interest in Rodrigo. There's nothing serious with Liverpool at this point. The priority at Anfield is to continue to strengthen the attack with Newcastle's Alexander Isak. Despite reports in Spain, Spurs are not looking at players in Rodrigo's position, and he would not be interested in a move there. Damn. So Liverpool, PSG, Arsenal have all been name dropped, Spurs as well, and only one team is he's not interested. North London's not that bad. Not in terms of that football team, but in a way of life, even though I wouldn't want to see you. I don't have to agenda you. So yeah, that tells us that Rodrigo's days potentially are numbered. West Ham are apparently looking to accelerate their summer recruitment drive and are eyeing a move for Arsenal outcast Fabio Vieira. There's been radio silence. He was linked with Palmer every now and again. Nothing really happened there. I mean, Graham Potter, go do that for Fabio Vieira. He joined a Premier League team. You're still living in London, etc. To be fair, cut them a bit of a deal, man. Because even though we spent a record fee for us on Declan Rice, it feels like we still underpaid for a minute. So cut them some sort of deal, people. But yeah, he's only shown flashes of his brilliance. I think of Brentford away. I think of Manchester United at the Emirates when Gabriel Jesus twisted up their fullback. Other than that, you ain't really seen nothing from Fabio Vieira at all. I'm sure. I think Eddie and Ketty as well. They came off the bench and helped us salvage something from a Fulham game. But the 25-year-old regained some confidence that marked him out as such an exciting talent. But securing a permanent return back to Porto, where he spent last year on loan, was beyond their financial means. He was linked with a move to Parma, who are now managed by Mikel Arteta's former assistant, Carlos Cuesta. Whether the Serie A club are able to meet Arsenal's valuation remains to be seen, but the Hammers are now expressing an interest. No club-to-club talks have taken place yet, so that tells you we're a long way away from seeing his departure. But the creative midfielder has been added to a list of potential targets in the knowledge he's been deemed surplus to requirements at Arsenal and by Arteta. Odegaard's now back to full fitness. Wanyeri and Max Dowman are whatever, doing what they're doing. I think Kai Havertz is more likely to play in that 8.5, 10 role before him, people. So we'll have to see. But the quicker we move these guys on, the better. According to reports in Spain, not sure on the credibility, Gabriel Jesus has caught the attention of Barcelona. 1 minute you're going Saudi, then your contract's getting renewed, then it's getting ripped up. Then you're linked with Inter, AC, Newcastle, and actually Tottenham Hotspur. Then a move to Flamengo. Then these are wide of the mark. I mean, for someone that isn't fit, I mean, links are one thing. It could just be journalists, but it'd be interesting to see, Gabriel Jesus needs to go and play games. And to be fair, if you get a move to Barca, that's a good fit. Do you not believe this? I don't. He'd have to sacrifice probably a lot financially, and Arsenal could probably kiss goodbye to a decent fee for Barcelona of all people. Team News and Ticks once did say people close to Eze are still confident he'll be an Arsenal player this summer. The players can't believe Arsenal want to focus on outgoings before going in for him. So that could mean everybody's aligned on the same page. I mean, stupid o'clock, people, but Real Madrid have been linked with an approach from Max Dowman, people, and apparently are keen on offering 2 players in exchange for William Saliba. Those 2 players appear to be Arda Güler and Raul Asensio. Now, we could do with some reinforcements. Arteta's not shy of defenders. Arda Güler would be amazing. Saliba does have, like Trossard, ironically, 2 years on his deal. You would have seen speculation this week where he said, God willing, he signs one, and I think we all do. Fair enough. I mean, testament to the 15-year-old that Max Dowman was drawing interest from Real Madrid. He's been Arsenal's worst-kept secret since 12 years of age. I'm sure he's always had offers. I mean, there's players that have come through Arsenal's academy that were wanted by Barcelona once upon a time and haven't gone on and done anything. So it wouldn't surprise me that Real Madrid are involved. But really, 15-year-old going to rock up there, especially when he's so close to the first team. There's an evident pathway. It sounds good. It really does sound good. And it is enticing. And it is testament to us. But great. I have covered this in previous vids, but I'll just go over an overview again. Arsenal make Trossard and Zinchenko transfer U-turn. So if we've truly made a U-turn on Trossard, right? And you never know, Martinelli could go, but it's fair to say he's probably not going to get any real offers. Surely you can't get Eze or Rodrigo, just based on what we've read, people. But nonetheless, apparently both are set to remain. Trossard's clear. Arsenal are keen to keep Trossard, and apparently Mikel Arteta has talked Zinchenko into staying.
Always just like,